Good afternoon, guys.
Yay!
Welcome to the podcast, the Caminante. Today is a beautiful day.
The walker.
The walker. You look beautiful, sweetie.
Thank you, my love.
Beautiful day, beautiful wife. But today is a great day, great topic, a lot of comments. Some of the questions that we've been receiving from different people, from different countries, Mexico, Spain, United States. This is getting hot. This is getting interesting. But today's topic is about how do you make it work? What's the digital nomad, diary that you guys can provide when it comes to thriving in business and life across borders? And I think we have a little bit of experience on that, right?
Oh, yes.
Do you remember how we were doing all that and starting? I mean, it was insane.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
It's
I mean,
stressful.
it will literally make your head spin. Like my head was spinning.
Literally.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that example because I just thought about, when you and I, we were traveling, we were in the airport, the hotel had no lights. So we're going to get to that because it was
Wild.
It was hilarious.
Yes.
But this is exactly what today is going to be about. How to live, work abroad while you are traveling, making it happen, challenges that you have abroad. So what about if I told you guys that you could have your office around the world, from Nicaragua to Tokyo? I run businesses with my wife from different places that you can only dream about.
We have made mistakes, missed flights, taken video calls with cows in the background.
Literally.
Oh my goodness. We have changed clothes in the weirdest places to make it to meetings on time.
Right. Oh, wow.
But we would not trade it for anything. I am so happy to be sharing all of this with y'all. My name is Tiffany, and this is my incredible husband, Luis. We are your hosts behind the podcast Caminante, where
the cultures collide and empires rise.
I love it.
So we're going to be sharing today exactly how to build a business and a life across borders and grow while you go at it.
Absolutely.
So let's see if I can think about how to get this started, right?
Well, let's go back to our story, where it all got started.
So rewind it?
Yes.
All right.
Take me way back. Take
All
me
right.
back, honey.
So let's see. I did a little bit of that when I was doing a business in Guatemala, but I think I started it with you when we opened that hotel in Nicaragua.
Yeah, but you seemed so experienced
because I had already 5-7 years doing that. I mean, I don't know if you remember when I met you. So I met my wife in corporate, in an office. She was managing a large portfolio, Georgia, North Florida, and I was managing a large portfolio in South Florida. And I remember those days, you have to deliver, you have to execute, you got to get the job done.
You have goals,
but
and you have to hit them.
Yeah, and it's not easy. And then I had to take planes. Literally, I would leave the office, take a plane, following day, have a meeting in the morning in Guatemala, come back sometime at 2 or 3 o'clock, get in the office, pretend that everything is all good, and then work until very late in the evening, and then most likely Thursday, Friday, do it all over again. I mean, it was, when you met me, I lost a lot of weight, right? I was going...
Oh my gosh.
You remember?
Yeah, you were really skinny. I mean, really. But you missed the whole important part about when we first met and you came walking into the office.
So you tell that story. You I think you say it better
I mean,
than me.
you're so you're very business, huh?
Well, I gotta go straight to what the audience has been asking for. But if you wanna add some to it,
No.
go for it. How did everything start? Please. Now I wanna know the story.
Okay, if you ask and you really want to know.
Yes.
So he comes. My office was in the front.
Right.
And everybody was working, and they would if there was anybody new who was coming in to take tour, or they would walk them through the office.
Well, I remember that now.
What right does this guy's fine man comes walking through the office like dressed to the nines, not even one hair out of place. I mean, I was like,
It's so funny.
this is, what are we doing? I was on a call and I mean, I was talking with a client and I don't know. Everything stopped the moment that I just remember you walking down the hallway. You were wearing a gray jacket. Remember that gray
no
cloth
longer exists,
jacket?
but yes, I remember.
It was an Armani jacket. And I was like, oh boy.
I remember that day, yes. I
Okay,
remember
so-
that big smile of yours and those eyes like, so wide open. And
You remember Torin?
Torin? Who's Who's Torin?
Torin.
Who's that?
Touring the office.
I'm sorry. You see, the language sometimes.
You remember touring?
I do. It was what was her name?
Kim?
No,
Sandra.
Sandra is the one that was touring me.
Yeah,
Yes.
she was.
She was actually taking me around. It was.
She probably remembers that too.
I remember you, but then forwarding a little bit, right? Because I
let's
think
get to the real,
yes.
out of the mushy gushy.
It was nice, and if you guys want to hear more about it, I'll be more than happy to share more about it because it's funny.
It is
But
hilarious.
I remember that phase in my life on how I had to get in and out. Remember that time that I had that meeting and there was a fire drill? And I was out of the office having a meeting. This guy that sold a company to Amazon. So I was, building an entire network for logistics. And there was a fire drill in the office.
And by this time, it was probably a year or so into, so little by little, we didn't really, at first we weren't dating, honestly. I mean, it was probably for 3 or 4 months. We were really just, we didn't even like hang out or do anything.
You're right. No,
you started working there.
It was
probably,
just ice.
Yeah. I was
Ice.
just melting like a puddle every day. I was like, oh my gosh.
Ice.
So by this time, a few people were like, oh boy, yeah, they're going to lunch or they're going, we notice. So it fell on me when he pulled that thing. And everybody's like, where's Louise? And I'm like,
And there it is. Old
I'm
managers.
calling in. I'm like, matter of fact, yeah.
Where
are you actually?
So anyway, that's one of the
Where were you?
One of the memories.
Where were you?
So that happens. The how do you call that? The multitasking, the jiggling, or the how do you call the
Jiggling.
The jiggling, the
Juggling.
jiggling, the juggling, all that going on.
Yeah,
keeping
that
one
was-
job, trying to get another business up and
But
running.
you know what's
it was
amazing?
just
You still do that. Like
still
it
do it.
blows my
Right.
mind how many different things. Like I can juggle a lot of things, kids, house,
right.
work, but you can the capacity of your juggling, like the depth of your
Of
juggling,
multitasking, right.
different business. That's a superpower.
Well, it's super overwhelming. At the end of the day, you really end up fried. Your brain really just fries because it's just so much information. And the challenge is going from one industry to a completely different one. So when you're doing like multitasking with similarities, it's not as aggressive, right? That's kind of what I found. But when you do something like let's call farming, right? Nature, this kind of work that involves a little more creativity, but then you got to go all the way to logistics, which is completely analytical. You are really, stretching your brain, I feel.
How do you do it? Really?
I think it's a skill set that you learn.
You develop it? Or?
I believe so. I think there is a part that is naturally you have to have that, but I think you also, as you get exposed and you multitask and you're organized, and I think organization is the key, and I teach that a lot to my managers. You gotta have some sort of tool that helps you to be grounded,
Yeah.
to be organized. And I
Okay.
think in this topic, it's going to be super important that you have organizational skills, that you focus on them, you train for them. But then in addition to that, planning. Because if you don't plan well, you cannot organize well.
Yeah.
And then you tie that up into an action plan and execution to get it done. And then you got to execute.
Right.
So as long as you have that plan set and you have some sort of organization system that helps you to tackle priorities number 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think you can do that. And I do that typically at night. So that way when I wake up in the morning, I know exactly what I got to do based on priority levels, top priority and then follow. But then let's go back to our experience, because I do think that for our audience and the ones watching, I think this is going to really resound of how that looks like. Because when you start traveling, right, things happen that you really didn't plan for, like Wi-Fi. When you go to third world countries, you remember that, Nika? Wi-Fi. You're planning, you think that, hey, no, I get out of the plane and then I'm going to be connected. No.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wouldn't even have Wi-Fi.
You sit down, you're ready to work, you're trying to take a business call, you got to walk 10 minutes into the town.
Yeah.
You get to the town. Yeah, that is,
You remember some of that?
we have
And
it
some
good
people
here.
don't even think about it until they're in it,
We
right?
have it good here.
So we have it very good here.
Yeah, so it's
First
probably
world.
a lot of those challenges and resistant things that you've had to face that help stretch you to be able to just take on more and more and more and more.
And sweetie, sometimes you just
Please
have
don't
to.
bust.
Sometimes you just have to. Sometimes because you just cannot control it. You just have to learn how to just let go and say, okay, I just couldn't do it today. The reality is, because in the beginning it's so frustrating. I mean, you remember those days?
Man. Yeah.
When we were trying to do things that are so basic in where we come from, right? What we do here. But then you go to a different country and such a basic thing that you do here just with an app,
Right.
you cannot do it outside. You recall those days, huh?
Right. Well, that is why this country is what it is.
What it is, right.
It is what
In general, first world countries, that kind of infrastructure exists there and makes it easier.
Right.
But once you start traveling abroad, first of all, I do believe that builds you. I think that shapes you, give you the resilience of facing challenges every single time. And when I'm talking about challenges, it's those little challenges like no Wi-Fi,
Yes.
no cell phone data. How about GPS? Remember?
Oh, man.
That I had to plan ahead
That was scary.
to have a GPS location of where we were traveling in the plane, because once I got out of the plane, no phone, no signal in the phone.
You would open the map and
then
you
I
would
would
try
have
to
to
use
map.
it and you would like zoom in and you would
Right.
try to see where the roads were, where we were on the dot.
Right.
In the middle of
Nowhere.
on the edge of a mountain. I mean,
Nowhere.
yeah. That was a little that stretched me.
That stretch. But you start thinking ahead. And I think that really teaches you how to think ahead to mitigate unexpected things. And hold on, guys, we haven't even started talking about how to run your business.
Wait a second. And we haven't even talked about how you rolled up rugs and taped them and checked them and got them off the carousel and put them into a whatever,
Like a box or something.
a taxi or not even a taxi, a car.
Yeah, we have to actually. Yeah, we were equipping the whole boutique hotel that we built right on the
which
mountain.
is so beautiful.
And we were taking everything from the United States because you didn't find those things over there.
Correct.
Another challenge, right? So we had rocks that we were from all the way from the back, all the way across to the windshield in the front.
No, these were like 9x6.
They were grass turf
rugs. Huge rugs that he rolled up and taped
right.
so that he could check them. Did you put them in like a surfing bag or something? I feel like something went in a big bag.
It was a big black bag.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Anyways, wow.
So going back to that, what I'm trying to actually put to shed light on is, and again, we haven't even talked about business yet. So those challenges, just with the fact of logistics, traveling, they start arising and they start coming up. Some people, you're just not meant for it. And some people are.
Well, yeah, it's very easy to check out. I mean, there's been many times where I'm like, I'm just done. This is just not going to work.
Think about it.
But you don't. You keep finding solutions.
And I think that's what I'm trying to say about this episode, that nomad digital, business that people are chasing for. Yes, you can find a business that you can create income, but you have to focus on your skill sets that allow you to do a business anywhere. E-commerce, freelancing, anything that involves some sort of computer, those digital customer service that focus on the, the experience that, customers may have through applications. I mean, we're living in a digital world that there's a lot of opportunities that you can learn and skill set, but you have to focus on those.
Yeah.
Because, our experience was, okay, we're building a boutique hotel, but at that time you were running your digital business.
Yes.
So it allowed you, I remember building content, taking photos,
yes.
Right? Traveling, having challenges with the Wi-Fi because you had to have conference calls.
Yeah.
So
I just needed an iron to iron my clothes. And I was like, turning on the shower to get hot water to try to get the wrinkles out. No hot water, no iron, no steamer.
Right.
It
happens. It happens. But again,
we have a lot to be thankful for.
To be free, location-wise, and be able to work remotely, you got to find a business that is a location-free. And you have to have the mindset that even though you may be working from a computer, you will face other challenges, right? So I think first is identifying the skill set. Second is what kind of business can I do freelance that I'm capable to travel, be remotely. And then third of all is, okay, what about my setup? I remember cameras, all the equipment, the lighting, everything that when you were doing a lot of that live streaming.
Oh my gosh.
And we were doing it from the beach, remember? And you were having issues with Wi-Fi. So you built an entire setup to mitigate some of that, and still you had challenges.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Any comments on that?
It was just, I had an entire suitcase because it was Prime Day and we needed, I think it was only available during that time.
Yeah, it's like a few days.
So yeah, I mean, I had to pack everything. I mean, cords, tripods, cameras, everything, and the problem is until you do it, you don't realize what goes in.
Right.
And the issues that arise as you begin doing it. Right. So
I remember that one time you had to use like a different VPN because it was not recognizing the location. I mean, you have to become really sophisticated in this new digital world that we live in order to use, because the technology is there, guys. I mean, it is out there. It's just learning, right? Be exposed to information, the new things and all that, so that way you can start using all those tools as you live life and also launch a business.
That's right.
And I think we were just improvising a lot. Every time we face a challenge abroad, we will be researching how to mitigate it, what can we do in order to overcome it.
That's right.
And then boom, implement it. It's working.
Yeah,
I remember the VPN was a big thing.
And sometimes it wouldn't work.
And then you got to try again.
Right. You got to try again. Right. Yeah. So for example, if I had to live stream now, you got to also take into account the time difference.
Right.
So, you got to start preparing 2 hours beforehand, 3 hours beforehand, just to work through the issues.
Right.
Whereas here, you probably can do it in about an hour.
Right.
It's faster. You can find solutions and things work better, faster.
So I would say this.
Woo!
If you're thinking about doing that, I would
Be
recommend
prepared.
travel a little bit. Get an idea of what it looks like to travel outside of the country, because traveling within the country is not the same experience. You're still within, let's call it the bubble, right, of US. But once you go out, you start realizing things that you would have never imagined that that would be a challenge. That would be one. I would say, chasing for freedom, independence, financially, sometimes bring into chaos, don't you think?
Yes.
But then you got to figure out that lifestyle doesn't become chaotic, because then it's just not worth it. So how do you balance flexibility? And I think that will be the key word for this, is how flexible can you be in order to adjust to the different challenges that are thrown at you, to change, pivot, adjust, and then keep moving forward. And I think the ones that can do that are truly the ones that are successful. Don't you think?
Yeah. I just, I don't want it to look like I don't want it to be an illusion. Like, the freedom doesn't mean that there won't be like challenges and chaos.
Great point, Tiff.
Like, it's...
And it does exist, because it's a dream.
Yeah, there's not like an easy way.
Right.
There's not like unless you want to just retire and do, not do.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't retired. Maybe there is challenges in retirement. I don't know. But there's just because you go to do your own thing, be prepared, because it's still hard.
It is. It is. I was telling my wife today, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I had to go on for a swim just to kind of release stress, because yes, you're right. We're financially independent, but it comes with responsibilities. It comes with
pressure.
Yeah, pressure. You still have deadlines. You still have to execute, provide results, and then your bar keeps raising.
That's
right? You wanna be able to perform at a higher level, because you already have achieved certain level, right? So tools to work remotely, VPN. One of the things that I think. What else, Steve?
Cloud drives, definitely.
Yeah, that's key, especially for memory and right.
I can't go without my MacBook. Like,
right.
I mean, I take that thing everywhere.
The cell phone, a good cell phone with strong memory. My iPhone is not to give any ad, but I would say it's a strong equipment that I've just been able to navigate so well.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is another one, right?
It's so helpful.
Anything else? So when I think about traveling, I think about different changes in time zones. That's a big one, right? You have a conference call in California, but you are in Central America, right? What's that difference between, 9 a.m. over there, between probably 12, 2 o'clock over there?
Yeah.
How do you work around that?
Right.
How do you plan about it?
Right.
We used to do a lot of coffee shops, remember?
Yes.
Because the signal was so bad in the places that we were. We would just wake up very early. We would plan to be the first ones to get in the restaurant, just to connect to Wi-Fi. And then get the morning started, get some coffee, and you're already getting the day going. Probably 6:30, 7 a.m. as soon as they open.
Yeah. It's true that doing your own thing, early bird gets the worm.
Right.
I mean, I wake up at 5 a.m.
Right.
To fit everything in, I have to wake up at 5 a.m.
Because you take care of yourself and all that, and that's part of it, right? You got to be solid in your mind and your body.
You got to feel good. You got to be quick. Good. You got to be, And for me, at least, it's really important that.
Yeah. So, thinking about it, right? I believe that being a foreign, even when you travel abroad or you travel here, wherever you travel, you will be a foreigner on that land. It does push you to grow because of a new language. It does push you to grow because of new values, new ways of thinking, new ways of doing business. I mean, in places that I've been, it is okay to bribe somebody to do their job for you, to get things done. But in this country, in the United States, that is not okay.
No, it's not.
But in other places, it is okay for you to pay somebody to speed things up. It's crazy. It's just the way the culture operates that you have to adapt. Some people cannot adapt to that. Like when I tell them, probably in Asia or in Latin America, there may be some places that it's okay that you pay somebody to get. For somebody, that would be completely against their values.
Oh, right.
Right?
Yeah.
Think about it. But then you come here and then you are coming from that culture.
Right.
And then you try to do that because lack of education, you haven't been exposed, you get in trouble. You may end up in jail.
Yes.
So again, that flexibility, right? How do you learn it? How do you educate yourself before you travel to be aware of those things?
Yes.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, but it's so super important.
Right.
You know, I don't know. How would you even, because experience is one fine teacher, but you don't want to start getting in trouble, because.
I think that's why I said, I think in the beginning, when you're looking to do these kind of things abroad, you got to travel a little bit.
Right.
You got to develop that ability to ask questions to people, to get into the culture. So that way you really get your feet in the water before you even start thinking about doing business. I got a great example. When I was a banker, a long time ago, was managing banking centers, I remember I had a customer, and this guy was so happy. He was moving to Panama, right? He was doing everything about moving to Panama and doing business over there. But you know what he had never done? Because he did everything over the internet. He had never been in Panama. He started planning the moving, doing everything. He was so happy. This is going to be the big thing. When he traveled, because he was so close about moving, Tiff, he come back. And when I asked him, how was it? Because he was so excited.
Oh, man.
I didn't like it.
Right.
I couldn't get used to it. Everything that is so basic.
He should have run it by you first.
Well,
if you run anything by Luis first, he'll tell you. Hey, if you have anything, he will tell. What is it? Devil's advocate.
Right.
I mean, boom, boom, boom. Did you think about that? The 101 things that could go wrong. I'm like, oh.
And you don't want to sound pessimist, but it's just the experience that you have been through or you have gone through, and then it's a wake-up call, right? I say, well, that gentleman...
Well, you think differently.
Because I have crossed that bridge.
Correct.
Right? You have experience. So this gentleman planned the whole thing, was going to move the family, sweetie, to realize, like, few months just to execute everything, school and all that. Then he decided, okay, I'm going to go and travel. I think you should have done that way before in order to, right? To choose the place that you're thinking about. He canceled everything. Wow. He went and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So travel, get experience, look at the challenges, see if you have the stomach for it. Just because that itself is challenging. Then you can build, your setup around it. So I think cultural humility is one of the most powerful skills that you can have in life and business. That cultural humility, that you don't know it all, even when there are unknown places that you haven't been, believe me, everything is different.
Well, that's why travel reveals who you are under pressure.
That's
you remember that one
Love
saying?
That.
They were
that's
like,
a good one, Tiff.
They were like, travel together first, because I didn't understand it at the time. Now I understand it. I mean, it puts you, you think, oh, we're going to go on a trip.
Right. It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, right. What happens? They lose your bag. The flight is late. The flight has issues. You got to sit on the airplane. I mean,
there's no Wi-Fi. You cannot talk to anybody.
Issue after
You're missing
issue.
your family.
So, you see how somebody handles challenges. I think that's pretty good advice.
I love it. It does take your true character.
Right. Well, yeah, a little bit.
No, it does. It really does. Just because, I think when you're under pressure, the true yourself comes out. Either you are that...
You explode
and you become that demon, right? Because you just don't know how to handle stress, the multitasking, the unknown. Yeah. People get anxious.
Right.
When they don't know something, the anxiety, the stress level, rise. And traveling to unknown places gets you there. Yeah. You know what's comfortable? Travel from one first world country to another. Right. Because they're similar.
Right.
Once you really stretch yourself and you get out of that bubble, that's when you truly experience life and the world out there. Mm-hmm. The good, the bad, the ugly, anything in between. And us doing that, and on top of that, doing it while we were doing business and working remote. I mean, those were one of the most exciting moments in my life. They were stressful, they were challenging, but I gotta say, I miss those days.
Oh,
they're very adventures. It's an adventure.
You miss Spirit Red Eye? Be honest.
Now, now that I'm a little bit more past that, and I look back, without that experience, wouldn't be the same.
I only have visions right now of laying in fetal position on the floor of the Spirit airplane.
I mean, I don't know if we want to put that airline out there, because it did save us from different. It is uncomfortable. I get it. It is unreliable. I get it. But you get what you pay for. It's cheap, and we didn't have too much money back then. So it got us. It got us from one location to another. But yeah, you're right. We would travel 12 at midnight. We would get here because of the change of time around 5 in the morning. And then getting out of that plane, we would be dressing up.
For the 9 a.m. Monday morning meeting.
9 a.m. Monday meeting. Changing in the bathroom of the airport. Taking an Uber, go straight to the meeting. Pretending that you know it all and that you're ready to kill the week.
You did know it all. You did know it all.
Yeah, but the reality is that you're exhausted, sweetie. I mean, you're exhausted. Traveling overnight.
And we still made Pinnacle.
Right. We were the top
and at
top
that
bankers.
point, I'm going to drop the mic.
But I do remember the red eye. That was traumatic. But it was fun. I think it was a great experience.
It was a great experience. It was beautiful over there.
So I guess depending on your cycle, where you are and when you are in life, you're young, you're willing to take challenges, go for it. Take it. I mean, it's amazing.
He built a boutique hotel. It was 3 containers, beautiful big, 3 containers up on the mountain, glass sliding doors. And then going down the mountain, because the mountain was literally like this, was 3 additional containers. On the top was grass, beautiful green. There was an outside patio sitting area.
Pool.
On the top, there was also chairs that you could sit on. You could go up the side and sit on top. The sunsets were just, Nicaragua has the best sunsets, and Greece has you're changed by how close you are and how you're viewing the sunsets. It's unreal.
It is.
In a container, it was just, you did so good.
It was a great experience.
You did so
super
good.
challenging.
Yeah, that was.
But again,
you poured everything into that.
I think being a digital nomad is not about escaping or running away from responsibilities or the way that you may feel to work and produce and generate cash flow. But I do believe that it's also about putting yourself out there as an adventurer, right? As a caminante, to become by changing your environment.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key that I wanted to share about this episode. Is yes, the end goal is cool, become financially independent, all that is great. But in the process, either if you make it or you fail, you have gained something invaluable, which is that experience and stretching yourself of multiple environments, multiple cultures out there. It really develops you and grows you to levels that you would never experience if you stay in the comfort zone. Don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
And that will pay off eventually later on when you start tackling. And that's why my wife is so cute and she loves me so much. That she thinks that I know it all. I don't know it all. I do think that putting myself out there and the adventures that I took from very early on in my life put me in a position well-rounded of having experiences in multi-different environments that allow you to, if you don't know it, to improvise, figure it out, or get uncomfortable and let's see what happens. So that's the answer to that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love you, and I'm just grateful for the last 10 years with you, because you've taught me so much just by being amazing you. So I'm grateful for that.
We've done it together, and I think it's been an amazing experience.
Yeah, because there's there's a solution. I
Right.
think that's my favorite thing about you. And I know you hate it because he feels like everybody, and it's true, everybody's always looking to him for solutions, you know, and we have to be empowered to find our own solutions. And you're going to hit the wall. It's up to you what you do about hitting the wall.
That's
Do you
right.
hit the wall and stop? Yeah, you absolutely can. Do you hit the wall and go, oh no, this isn't what God wants for me? Do you hit the wall and you go, man, I'm tired, I'm defeated, I'm exhausted? Or do you hit the wall and you go, hang on, let me look here. Hang on, let me look there. It's this process of figuring it out and finding solutions and pushing forward. It's such an incredible superpower.
It is.
It's so good.
And then once you get that, then you have the freedom to travel. Because then traveling becomes easier, right? Overcoming the challenges, now you already know what to expect. So now you go equip, you go with your tools, everything else that you would take in your laptop, in your backpack. You plan accordingly. You become more organized because you already know the road.
Yeah, you're better.
And then
You're better prepared and you can handle it better.
Exactly.
I think it's about handling, what we're working with our 5-year-old with.
And then you can do the job or the freelance or the project that you want to do somewhere else. We got a great guest, I think Vanessa from Colombia. She traveled to Bali. She quit her job in Colombia. And I'm sorry if I cannot miss any details, Vanessa, but she went to Bali and she faced all these different experiences that you and I will talk. I think she was some sort of digital application developer. She traveled, went to Bali, and she found out that Wi-Fi was not reliable where she was staying. The phone lines were not accessible. She was so remote. She was lonely.
Yeah.
Because then that kicks in, right?
Oh my goodness.
I want to be in Bali. Yeah, that sounds beautiful. But you're on the other side of Asia.
That's so far.
Right? That happened to you when you went to Indonesia. Do you want to share how sick you got because you were missing everything?
Listen, it's not even homesick. Like, it surpasses homesick by... It's just another level. Like,
anxiety
homesick
too.
is nothing. This is like, look, the sky looks different. The sunset's different.
People
the
look
sunrise.
different.
Oh, people. Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah, there was, it was just, it was a whole...
I remember, and then you start getting anxious and stressed. And
Well,
what
yeah,
if this and what if that?
I think I started like not
You got
feeling
sick.
well or something.
You got sick.
And I was super worried that I was not going to be able to like get back on the plane and travel home and that I was going to be stuck. And because I was like so weak that I was like, there's no way I can, and I'm very strong. I will push through until I can't. And this was like, it was just really far. I wanted to come home and I couldn't come home. And
yeah, no, it's super, it's different.
That's far.
But again, I think that one step at a time before you take such a big decision in life allows you to be more ready to it. I remember the loneliness that you feel, how burned out you can be, right?
Burnout.
The burnout of not knowing everything, trying to find solutions for basic things. And then on top of that, I'm trying to launch an online business and I need to take photos and I need to have all these different things. And you're moving not like back home. You're moving probably at a, super slower pace that you feel that you're getting stuck just because of the way things are in that place. So I do believe that all that into consideration puts pressure. And then on top of it, if you're running an online business like the way you did it, how do you do it to then keep yourself looking apart? Because online is tricky, right? You want to be showing always the best side of yourself.
Yes.
But then behind the scenes, you're jiggling with all these different things that you don't want to display it.
Yes.
So how do you manage that, right?
Because such a good question.
It was stressful.
Yeah, I had lunch with a great girlfriend of mine, and I met her through the industry, and she's awesome, smart, beautiful, just all around great. human woman, wife, mom, business owner. She, about 4 years ago, she just said, I have to take a break. Like, I can't, the pressure to perform and, you know, just the numbers is such a thing. And it's hard because you can't always control the numbers, and you try to, you know, put forth this. For me, it's not about perfect. For me, it's just about, and it's gotten like this over time. I don't necessarily think it's like this at first for everybody, but over time, you give up this sense of control to have everything be perfect and look a certain way, and it needs to sound like this, and there can't be mistakes, and this sort of rigid, where for me now, I still have high standards, and I like my content to look a certain way, and it's really important to me to have. It's important for me because I want it to be received by the people who are shopping or viewing. I want it to be received well. I want them to enjoy it. High quality.
Right.
But there's also this sense of I have to sometimes release. It's not always perfect. Right. And especially as I began to delegate and build my team, that sense of control and just rigidity needs to, it has to lessen, or
you break something in the way, or break somebody on the way too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I told my girlfriend, you were a huge part in that, you know, because there were a lot. I remember the first time somebody made a mean comment to me online, and I was like shattered. I was like, LTK reshared some of my content, and people were posting like bad stuff about me. It was about the swimsuit that I was wearing, and I was just like shattered. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I can't. And now I'm like, yeah, please comment anything you want, because you're boosting my engagement and my views and my, So
it's perspective then. And I think it's really important, especially for those that are looking to, you know, do business abroad, or just being able to work from anywhere. At the end of the day, it's truly about perspective. That's why the traveling, going through this and taking these risks and chances, it only makes you stronger. And what you're saying is exactly what happened to you. Before that experience, anything like that of what somebody else would think of you would get to you.
Yes.
After that experience and putting yourself out there and trying to just be, you know, an adventurer and taking chances and risks, now that doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
Totally the opposite. You change the perspective and say, actually, that fits me.
Yeah.
That makes me even better, stronger. Thank you for the feedback. And then you just continue.
I improve from it?
That's
Is there anything? Maybe it's real. Maybe the swimsuit, you know, but you learn to handle it better, and find value if you can. And if not, you move on. So, but it's not always.
So Tiff, let me ask you this. Because I cannot think of any relationship like ours that was so messy in the beginning, between romance, you know, launching businesses, you know, in different sideways, then having also a job in the same office, same company. From 1 to 10, how messy was it?
It was 10.
It was messy. 10, right? It was
10.
Up there.
It was up there. So much so that even the counselor, was like, "Are you guys sure?" And
there was a lot going on. I mean, 2 cultures colliding, right? Mm-hmm. Launching businesses, also performing and working in corporate, traveling, right? Going through that experience on its own, trying to work remotely, with the different pressures of cultures, infrastructure,
serving in the church, volunteering in the church, the pressure from the church about the guy I was dating. Yeah. It wasn't like doing anything wrong.
So let's think about then. How do we manage? Because I think that's important to talk about it, because it was chaotic. But if you and we were not flexible, right? If you and we didn't create routines, because when I met you, you had such a routine from the moment you woke up to the moment. I mean, you were really, you have You have kind of like got a little bit more flexible, but you were really rigid when I met you, right? With your routine, everything was just so, and for me, that was really challenging, but it also helped me too, right?
Yeah, and it was so challenging for me because you were not like that. And even now, sometimes you're not like that. And it's, I have to, sometimes I even still feel anxious because you don't like root. You like to just be flexible, and
I have to be flexible.
You have to allow things to happen as they happen. And I'm seeing more how that can be a really great thing, but still it's like, wait a second, I need to know like what time and
and there are people like that. You need to know all these things before it happens. And I think from my end,
you can't always.
Exactly. And I think from my end is that I have learned so much that it's great to have a plan. Don't get me wrong. I plan. That's the only way I've been able to achieve, and I organize, and I teach that to my teams. But I also teach that you got to be flexible when you're executing, because you're going to realize that everything you plan, most likely, it's not going to work.
Come up.
Yeah. But planning helps you to kind of do the exercise of what if that. So when things don't go your way, then you can adjust, pivot, and be flexible.
Yeah. Well, and I also feel like that's so good. Thank you for all the valuable information you're putting out. I feel like we also built a really good friendship in the beginning. Like we were obviously very attracted to each other, but we also spent a lot of time getting to know each other.
We did.
Like before we
did.
Like, let's just be real, but got in the sheets. Like we were friends and we kept building a friendship, and for years.
No, we did.
2.5 years.
What about the friendships that we met on the way? You know, in the adventures, in the traveling. I mean, we made such amazing friends, right? In every travel that we've done. We got photos everywhere in Africa, Uganda, in Europe. I mean, all these different places that we were traveling and also working. And the friendships that you build there are just phenomenal. So it is worth it.
Of course.
It's just a matter of how you do it, how you execute it. So you got to find first that niche that allows you to do that remotely. Second of all, prepare, travel, get experience a little bit on that. What tools do you need? Online tools, clouds, VPNs, how to mitigate some of the challenges that you may face in this country. Anything else really that we can talk about, that nomad digital new form of life that people are chasing for, that we already, went through it, experienced, and live?
I would really just say push, learn, try new things, fail again. What did you learn? Try it a new way. There's going to be seasons. You've got mountaintop seasons and you've got valley seasons, choose stillness when you need it. You got to keep your mind right and take responsibility. I feel like it was so big for me when I stopped depending on certain programs or partners. Or like, it's up to you. If you want this, you got to figure it out. You didn't do it for nobody else. You have to lean into it, figure it out, connect with people. Don't wait for anybody, your mama, your husband, your partners.
It's your life. It's your destiny. You choose for it. And I think that's what this is about, is just choose who you want to become.
Yeah.
By making these kind of steps, right? Being the Caminante that you want to be. I'll tell you this. I love what you said, Tiff. From my end, I think flexibility will be the word that you'll need in order to make this lifestyle work. Flexibility. I recall when I went to Colombia, I was trying to launch a digital advertising business and create an entire network with taxis, kind of like just copy paste what New York had.
That was a great idea.
Long time ago.
Really?
An amazing experience. I was super young, really, really young. But I remember when I got to Bogota, simple as this, issues that I was having with my phone line, right? I needed my phone. I needed to do the jobs that I needed to communicate. And I was trying to fix whatever that company was going through, and I could see it from where I came from. But what about escalation process? What about manager? What about, we don't have that in here. And I was spending so much energy trying to fix the country so that way it could work for me to what I'm used to, that now that I think about it, I was just wasting time and energy trying to fix things instead of be flexible, adjust, adapt. There's a new reality. You're not going to be able to put everything around you how you want it to fit according to your comfort area.
Yes.
The opposite. You get flexible, adjust, right? See how things operate in that environment, learn that new way, and then you'll be successful.
Yes.
And that would mean my biggest takeaway on doing life abroad, traveling abroad, doing business abroad is be flexible, learn a new way. We always like to go back to what we know.
What's comfortable.
But this kind of experience of traveling, doing it somewhere else, so that way you can travel and have all these different benefits that bring you, you gotta be flexible. Otherwise, it's gonna break you. It's gonna make you frustrated, and you're not gonna enjoy what truly it is about traveling.
And keep your mind right with the challenges and everything you go through.
Keep your mind open.
Yeah. Keep your mind open and
yeah.
keep your, you got to stay positive.
Right.
You know, you don't get down and get stuck and yeah.
So guys, if you like this episode about this digital nomad type of lifestyle, working remotely, traveling while you do that, making it successfully, subscribe on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, any platforms that they should be following, sweetie.
Yes. So thank you guys, first of all, so much for all the subscriptions. Every day we wake up, we're just so excited to be doing this with you guys. But yeah, Instagram, TikTok, you'll love the all the shorts we put out. So much fun, great information.
So whether you move across the world or you just want a new perspective, this lifestyle is about growth, internally and externally. If you want to be a Caminante, what does it mean?
Never standing still.
That's right.
It means walking toward the life that you choose to create. So
you
good.
can create it. You are also a creator. Caminante, the Caminante, that's what it's all about. So again, if you like this episode and you're connecting what we're trying to do, leave us a comment, follow us in all the different social media platforms. It really powers us in order to continue to create content, be better, and just give you the best experience, advice, anything that we can just pitch in so that way we can add more Caminantes in this world.
That's right. I love it. Great job, honey. And great job, you guys. Keep pushing. It's the only way forward.
Continue walking your path. Until the next episode. Thank you, guys. Nice talking to you. Beautiful day. Sayonara.
Adios.
Ciao.
Ciao. Bye-bye.